Joining us now is Okpe with stories trending around the world. Ojineka, it's good to see you.
Well, good morning.
People have been attacking me. They say,
why?
I did a poor edition of Asha's song.
Good morning, Tundu.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. Good morning, Rufai.
Dr. Abati, as long as your point was made, don't mind them. They should go and sit down. It's everything they'll be criticizing. They are criticizing your singing now. What is it that they will not criticize? Don't mind them. You sang well.
Well, good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In France, hundreds of people, including Muslim imams, paid tribute on Monday to Stephanie M., a French female police officer who was stabbed to death last week by a 36-year-old radicalized French resident of Tunisian origin. Before stabbing the officer, the 36-year-old extremist shouted Allahu Akbar, which translates to God is greatest. In the United Kingdom, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has dismissed the press report alleging that he will rather see bodies pile up in their thousands than impose a third national lockdown on the country. And Nigerian doctor Nena Osuji has been appointed to the role of chief executive at the North Middlesex University Hospital NHS Trust. In Pakistan, a Camel Library project founded by a high school principal, Rahima Jalal, and her sister brings books to children who can no longer go to school because of lockdowns. In Nigeria, videos showing commercial drivers of the National Union of Road Transport Workers and commercial motorcycle riders engaging in a clash, leaving scores of injured bodies in Lagos State on Monday, has made the rounds.
See how Okada are going on rampage, attacking policemen.
Under sports, 36-year-old former UFC middleweight champion Chris Weidman has undergone a successful surgery after suffering a gruesome broken leg during his fight with Uriah Hall at UFC 261 over the weekend. Finally, under entertainment, billionaire rapper Kanye West's Nike Air Yeezy sneakers has sold for a staggering $1.8 million at Sotheby's, making them the most expensive sneakers in the world. Well, let's begin what's trending in Nigeria. On Monday via Twitter, the Nigerian Air Force announced that it's investigating an alleged report that over 20 Army personnel were attacked by an Air Force coordinated airstrike in Mainok, Maiduguri, after they were mistaken for Boko Haram terrorists. Well, according to reports, the insurgents had attacked a military base in Mainok and reportedly overpowered the troops who called for reinforcement. The truck, which was sent for reinforcement, was said to have been targeted and shelled by the airstrike. Well, the spokesperson for the Air Force, Edward Gapquet, confirmed that a video from the affected scene making the rounds on social media is being investigated. Well, let's take a look at that video.
One of our gun throw they come from Benin. Air Force don't share them. Kill all of the soldiers. Now the smoke. Now the smoke they see so. Now the smoke they see so. They call the gun truck. Make them come road. Come carry road. They enter bush. Air Force don't share them.
Rufai, this is completely unacceptable what happened. I'm glad the Air Force is investigating this incident. But I mean, the question is there no coordination between the Air Force and the military? I mean, this incident is coming barely a year after the Air Force. There's the same thing in Borno State. They killed about 17 women and children at that time. I mean, it is unbelievable what happened, if it really did happen.
I mean, obviously, if they lost their coordinates, that means there was no coordination between those on ground and those coordinating in the air. That one, let's not forget what happened in Rana, an IDP camp. Same loss of coordinates. Bombs were thrown at an IDP camp. People that were fighting to save were killed. We need to do better. At first, commiserations to the life of those valiant soldiers lost. 33 of them, as the reports have it. I deliberately said as the reports have it because before you know it now, they'll change the report and say it wasn't 33 of them any longer. Because you will hear from the Air Force now that we're investigating and we can't ascertain the number, so you shouldn't say 33. And when the media reports this, they put the blame on the media. The media has become a whipping child of everybody here. The Air Force is investigating. We would like to know the result of the investigation quickly because they're still investigating that same plane that came down, the Air Force plane. You remember they said they've only found one body? Have we heard about the second body on the plane? Nothing yet. So they should investigate quickly and we should coordinate things. I know we normally have mishaps when a war goes on like this.
Rufai, I'm sorry to have to interrupt you, but I'll come back to you. We'll have to go on a short break. And when we return, What's Trending on the Morning Show will continue. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Morning Show. We're still on What's Trending. Rufai, before we went on a break, you were making your point about the Air Force airstrike.
Yeah. So my third point will be this. Please, I know they said they're investigating that video put on social media. Please do not carry out any punitive action on those officers. I beg. And this is why I beg. I remember the case of Major General Adeniyi. That was at the battlefront that made a video. That the video too got out like this. And we all remember what happened to Major General Adeniyi. He was demoted after we heard that, oh, everything was all right, there was no problem. In fact, I think they even had a ceremony for him where they appreciated the great work he has done for the military over the years. And the next thing we hear, he was demoted. Please, let's not carry out a punitive measure on these officers. Please, for whatever the reason might be that they are putting this videos out, please, I beg. Secondly, the reason is this. Because we already have a group of very disgruntled people in the military. And we're seeing how people are leaving the military in droves. Please, let's not deaden the morale. I see it, I might not be corrected because I don't know all the military laws, but the truth is, these people just cried out for help based on what was happening at a point in time. Right. Thank you.
Thanks, Rufai. Dr. Abati, your take on this story?
Well, very quickly, I think that this is very unfortunate to have the Air Force attacking troops on the ground, Nigerian military troops. One of the issues we've always talked about is the lack of synergy among the various security agencies involved in the prosecution of this war against Boko Haram. Now, analysts are likely to take this as an indication of that lack of synergy. Secondly, analysts are also likely to take it as the failure of Nigeria to invest heavily in technology. Because if there is heavy investment in technology, that would deepen the level of coordination. And you will not have a situation whereby the Air Force will be attacking people on the ground who belong to the Nigerian Army, if there is better coordination. However, there's something they call in military history friendly fire accidents. It occurred in 1758 when British troops, attacked their own. It occurred during the American Civil War when General Stonewall Jackson was killed by a friendly fire. It also occurred in many instances during World War I and World War II. But this is of great concern because here in Nigeria, it happens too frequently. Because here in Nigeria, we do not see enough evidence of synergy, capacity, competence, professionalism. And so, informed analysts are likely to think that, this is clearly an indication of incompetence. And it's unfortunate that lives have been lost. In fact, one newspaper was quoting up to about 33 soldiers that died. And another issue that we need to worry about is that, look, on this program, before now, we were all saying, oh, change the service chiefs, change the security chiefs. Exactly. We need new personnel. Now, with what we have seen this week alone, or within the last 2 weeks, we have seen very clearly that change of personnel does not mean change or improvement in terms of how Nigeria is addressing the security challenge. We have new generals, we have new inspector general of police, but these guys are just asleep. They are playing possum. So apart from the accident that was reported, which the Nigerian Air Force claims that they are investigating, we hope that the investigation will not take forever. Because in the past, various investigations into similar incidents or related incidents, we have not had any report. Waiting. Nobody has told us. Still waiting. So they will just come with this rhetorical posturing, oh, we are going to investigate, we will investigate. Okay, this one, we want to know what exactly happened. That's how they do it in civilized societies. People must know that, okay, change of personnel is not about just bearing fanciful titles and wearing fine uniform. It's about performance.
You've just made it.
Now, the second leg of it, or if you like, the third leg of it, is the fact that the newspapers this morning reported how super camps were being attacked over the weekend in the last few days by bandits and terrorists. And they did so confidently and successfully. Now, the super camp strategy was supposed to be, was supposed to be part of that, what do they call it again? Rejigging of security architecture. But we have seen that these super camps, whether in Gedam or Kaure or Damaturu or wherever, these super camps are not working. So what exactly are these new service chiefs doing?
That's the question.
What exactly do they want to do?
Right.
What is their response to the president's marching orders that they should make a difference? If they are not going to make a difference, then we are in a very terrible place.
Well said, Dr. Abati.
Well, Dr. Abati, I guess what you're describing is, movement without motion. And I read a few months ago, I'm sure you did too, that all the service chiefs had agreed to all reports to General Irabo. And I thought, yay, finally, we're going to be working in concert. And now look at this. And like you said about friendly fire, it's a sad reality of war. It's referred to as a thick fog of war. So those of us sitting here who have no idea of war should be a little less judgmental. These accidents sadly happen. For me, the most famous case was that NFL superstar, Pat Tillman, with his multi-million NFL contracts. He had his whole amazing career endorsements. He quit everything to go and serve his country in Afghanistan after 9/11, and he was killed by friendly fire. And it was such a tragedy. Operation Desert Storm during the Gulf War, 77% of U.S. vehicles that were damaged or destroyed was by friendly fire. Sadly, it happens, but it should not happen. What I want to say about the American model is what I hope applies here, that those who were found to be, should have lacked diligence in the execution of their duties, they should be prosecuted. You cannot say, oh, these people called for help, they needed assistance, and you come and you kill them and you go oops and you move on with your life. No. People have to be charged. And I went through the Armed Forces Act, and under their Part 12 is where the list of offenses is. There's nothing that is on all fours with the current situation from the facts that we know, apart from, I hate to say it, manslaughter or murder. Somebody needs to be charged for this. It's wrong.
I like your point, Tundu. I believe so. All right, we'll take another story in Niger State, where over 5,000 people have been displaced following an attack on a community by Boko Haram insurgents over the weekend. A video where the governor of the state, Abubakar Sani Bello, who on Monday, while addressing the press in Mina, saying the Boko Haram insurgents had forcefully taken over the wives of some villagers and hoisted their terrorist group flag in Shiriro local government area of the state, has gone viral. Let's take a listen.
The situation is critical and it's terrible. Last night, we had over 3,000 people here from communities that have been displaced by bandits and Boko Haram elements around Munya and Shiro local governments. However, some of them have started going back to their various homes, and there are some other communities that we think are safe, they can go back. But the vast majority of them will have to remain here because their towns have been taken over by bandits and Boko Haram elements. Their wives have been seized from them. Their wives have been forcefully attached to Boko Haram members' elements. In fact, I just heard they've already placed their flag in Kauri, so which means they've taken over the territory. And this is what I've been engaging the federal government with. And unfortunately, it has now gotten to this stage that if care is not taken, nobody, not even Abuja, is safe. We have been saying this for long. We've been saying this, and all efforts have been in vain. I hope with the outcome of these banditry activities and terrorist activities, I hope the time has come now to see reasons for a very coordinated military action to take place so that we displace. The Boko Haram elements are trying to use these areas as their home, just like they did in Sambisa. Well, Sambisa is hundreds of kilometers away from Abuja, but Kaure is less than 2 hours drive to Abuja, so nobody is safe anymore. Not even Abuja is safe. So this is the time to act. But everybody, all hands must be on deck. All hands must be on deck. It's not for Niger State alone, no. It's for everybody to act. We have made all the efforts we need to do, and we have done it. We have tried our best. I am confirming that we have Boko Haram elements in Niger State around Kauri. They've taken over the territory. They've installed their flag. I'm confirming that now. They've taken over the wives of people by force.
Rufai, as you can see, nowhere is safe. You know, in the meantime, Yobe residents of Gierdam, residents there, including women and children, were now are seen in a viral video fleeing from their community following an attack by Boko Haram insurgents last week. Nowhere is safe. What are we now, at war? We are at war, Rufai.
We are at war. I remember in the 90s when we used to have refugee camps for the Liberians. A lot of Nigerians used to mock these Liberians and say, oh, your country is fighting a war. You're living in a refugee camp. We are at the state Liberia is that time, and we mocked those people. We're already there. You know what it means for you to be internally displaced in your own country?
Right.
A country where you have property, you have everything. You've lived all your life. You know what it means to be quick becoming like a Syria, where people that had mansions in Syria were living as hot and refugees in other parts of the world? We're already getting there. If not, we are there already. You think these people that you're seeing on television that they are displaced now, you think they don't have homes? You think they don't have property? The only crime they have committed is because we don't have leadership that is standing up for them to fight this insurgency. This battle have lingered for too long in this country.
Yes.
It's many years down the line now. It is the time for the Nigerian state to put its full might to fight Boko Haram. But when I say the full might, the question is, can its might really crush Boko Haram now? Because if its might can truly crush Boko Haram, they will not come to our super camps and destroy our super camps and destroy our military. Oh, we keep talking about back in the days, Metasani. Metasani were carrying bows and arrows. These Boko Haram guys are carrying weapons. High caliber weapons that some of our military look at and run away. But this is the time for leadership to stand tall, because you see, everything in a nation that happens revolves around leadership. And it is the time for us to say no to all of this. It has lingered for too long. Lives have been wasted. Our country is under occupation. Do you know what it means for another sovereign flag to go up in a sovereign state where we sing the national anthem and we pledge allegiance to the country with the national pledge?
Horrible. Tundu.
We need to save our country.
We do. Well said, Rufai.
Well, we discussed this earlier when we're talking about the news headlines. The sovereignty of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has been attacked, and our government is not reacting. How I wish they would mount the kind of defense that was mounted for Pantami. But alas, here we are in this vacuum of leadership where all kinds of unfortunate incidents are being allowed to grow. Like we were saying earlier, the newspapers yesterday, a litany of insecurity disasters. Today, the same thing. You can see the exasperation of a governor, an APC governor. He's not towing the party line. He kept insisting, and he's doing it deliberately, that, look, I'm not going to hide what's going on. He's completely at his wit's end. What is he supposed to do in the face of Boko Haram, which is a terror group of transnational proportions? What can a governor do? This has to be the federal government to act, and act quickly. I was talking about the list that was reported in today's This Day of thousands of Nigerians at this point. 1,444 children, I believe, 119 pregnant women, and another tranche of women that are not pregnant. They didn't even mention men and boys. It's extremely disturbing. In 2018, we had Boko Haram collecting taxes in Nigeria, mounting roadblocks, and we're back to the bad old days.
But you can see the governor looked so scared. I mean,
he's
been talking about it. He's been talking about it to the federal government, and now this. He has, I feel really scared right at this point, Tundu. Well, Dr. Abati, before I come
after
to you,
the break,
we have to go on a short break.
Yeah.
And when we come back, What's Trending on the Morning Show will continue. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Morning Show. We're still on What's Trending. Dr. Abati, before we went on a break, was going to take your comment on the Niger State.
Okay, you had a video by Governor Sani Bello of Niger State lamenting the security situation, not just in Niger State, but also in the entire country. Yes. And what we saw was a tape about helplessness, despondency, frustration, And this is a state governor described under the Constitution of Nigeria as a chief security officer.
Correct.
And this is now a chief security officer saying that, look, he's in a helpless situation. He needs help. The Nigerian government needs to take action. And he will not be the first governor to cry on television in that manner. Who was that governor that cried the other day? The governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom. The other day, the governor of Imo State, his country home was attacked. In neighboring Abia State, we understand that the governor himself has gone into, some hiding, some form of hiding. So if governors are not safe, if communities are not safe, then it shows, it illustrates the extent of the challenge of insecurity in Nigeria. Now, in the specific case of Niger State, the governor is saying that Kaure, one of the villages, has been taken over by Boko Haram, and that they've hoisted their flags in the place. In Gaidam, in Yobe State, we're told that Boko Haram has also taken over 50 villages, and they've put their flags there. So the second indication is that indeed we are in serious trouble with regard to security. Now the governor is calling on the federal government to come and help, and reminding the federal government of the fact that Kaure is just 2 hours to the federal capital territory.
Correct.
I hope we will not wake up one day in this country where Boko Haram will enter the federal capital territory and take over the seat of government of Nigeria. So all of this is a wake-up call. I don't think that the federal government should treat Sani Bello's frustration lightly. It should be an opportunity for the federal government to act. However, at a personal level, the governor also made a point. He made a point that people's wives have been taken over by force.
Do not.
No, he said the situation is critical and terrible. In fact, that's a critical and terrible. No, they've been abducting young girls.
Yeah,
this one, they are taking over people's wives. And I hope that the men themselves will man up and go and fight for their rights.
With what, Dr. Abati?
No, they should go and fight for their rights.
With red knives.
Because this is a bedroom attack.
Oh, Lord.
If they attack your bedroom
Dr.
integrity,
Abati,
you have to
I'm not
fight.
gonna let you
So it's
say
not
that.
just about federal government, it's also about individuals now standing up for themselves. How can anybody take another man's wife by force? No, it's a serious issue. It's critical. It's terrible.
Are you promoting war now? What are they supposed to do?
Somebody will take over your wife by force.
The army should take care of it.
Go and sit down.
All right.
I don't know.
All right, Dr. Abati, we've heard you. We'll take our final story. A video of a trailer carrying what appears to be a 40-foot container without its rear wheel tire while driving on a highway in Lagos is circulating on social media. Let's take a look.
Lagos Lekki Okpe Expressway. Trailer carrying container. Handicap trailer carrying container. Nigeria, we hail thee, our own, their native land.
I mean, this guy had to sing the national anthem. Rufai, what's happening here? Is it possible that, for me, I thought that the man videoing should have done something instead of videoing and singing, but that's not the question. How can this happen in Lagos State?
Oji, let me shock you. That video is a clear illustration of where the nation is now, where our country is now. That video. Our country is like a truck with one tire missing. I'll probably say 2 tires. You know why? Because we have subjugated our role as a society. We have subjugated the need to be able to keep society safe. We have subjugated the need to be able to do what is right. So even if the man comes down and goes to accost that trailer, the man driving the truck, he might beat him up. And when even the police or those in authority arrest that same person, you will see that that trailer is owned by one of the big men in Nigeria. So they will leave the truck alone.
No, I will not leave the truck alone.
No, I'm saying not you. I'm saying they, the authorities, will leave the truck alone and say, oh, It's a big man that owns the truck. Is it that we don't have officers seeing this? Dr. Bati was talking about VIO this morning. Are we going to say we don't have VIO seeing this? But it's other people, they want to check their paper, they'll look out. Why? Because it's a broken cycle. So that's an indication of how Nigeria is today. That's a clear illustration of what the country has become. It is lawlessness everywhere. It is a free-for-all, so anybody can do what they want to do. So you are even surprised that he's got one tire pulled out. Some will even have 2 wheels pulled out. That's the madness going on in this country today. And that's why we must rise up to fix this country one way or the other. That's the madness going on. That's how trucks that don't have brakes will leave a papa, but nobody can hold them. Because one big man somewhere owns the truck. That's the country. That's it.
Your take on the story.
Well, you were asking about the VIO earlier, and I know why you were. But I was thinking, where are they when you need them? That man driving that truck could have killed somebody. And I completely agree with you, OG. We all need to learn to act, or at least attempt to act. Because if anybody dies, then you will feel a sense of responsibility for that death. This is a disaster waiting to happen. Somebody needed to apprehended this man, and they needed to have stopped him, rather than singing that our former national anthem, which you were playing the other day, last Friday, I believe, on your birthday. We didn't get to discuss that. I don't actually like that anthem, but hey, that's not what you do. We should stop being so passive, all of us, because you don't know, as this man is driving, if he hits somebody, it could be somebody you know. It could be somebody you love. Even if it's not, we all have a responsibility to stop this kind of madness on our streets.
Horrible. Dr. Abati.
Okay, very quickly, I think my take will be that, one, nobody should be above the laws of the land. Whether a truck is owned by a big man or a small man, the laws should be enforced. The second point is that here in Lagos, I guess that video is from Lagos, we've been seeing some kind of hyperactivity on the part of the VIOs, as Tundu mentioned. Now, the vehicle documents, when you are on the road, you need to have a vehicle registration document, an insurance document, and something they call roadworthiness certificate.
Right.
Now, what is involved here is to ask the question, is this particular vehicle roadworthy? And why will a vehicle like this, bearing an unlatched container, the container is even unlatched from the little that we can see, and then not having tires? But unfortunately, these vehicle inspection officers in Lagos State, they will not challenge a vehicle like this. The people they will challenge are the poor, ordinary people, and they will be asking for their certificates. And there is a certain kind of arrogance coming from the VIO office in Lagos. You know, they just terrorize people. They abuse power. I think, the Lagos State government or the relevant authority will need to remind them of the fact that they need to be more diligent and they need to be more thorough in what they pay attention to. That vehicle without a tire obviously poses a threat to other people's lives. And to think that such a vehicle would be on a promenade on the streets of Lagos and go up and down, that's like endangering the lives of others. This should not happen in a civilized society. Okay? Well, thank you, OJ. That's all we'll be able to take.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.